The last time we met, I was talking about the challenge of Monktasking and what that looks like. And today, as I did my makeup, this is proof I can do makeup. Maybe not get my nails done because we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I can do my makeup. And I like doing my makeup. And Monktasking kind of reminded me that doing my makeup has been a progression over 20 years because I didn't grow up knowing how to do makeup. My mother doesn't wear makeup. Most of my family doesn't wear makeup. I grew up reading 17 magazines and trying and washing and trying and washing and trying and washing. And then when I went to beauty school, I was like, sweet, this is going to be my ticket. Someone's going to teach me. They did not teach me how to do makeup. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Sammy Joe spent a lot of time going, you can't actually wear that out of school. Come here, wash your face. Let me fix it. And so it was a lot of trial and error and friends that were willing to nah, and fix it for me. And to be honest, learning makeup was, instead of trying to fix my whole face and learn the whole thing, I learned how to do my brows, or I learned how to do a cut crease, or I learned how to do winged eyeliner, or I really focused on learning my lips. And I didn't try to do all of that in 1 week. I would learn it for 6 months. I'm pretty sure for 6 months, the only thing you saw on my face was lip liner and lipstick, because I was determined to get that one thing down really well. And by doing that over a certain amount of years, it means that I do my makeup in under 15 minutes now. How many other things, if I monk task, could I do that with? And so here's been the challenge. Here's the beautiful side. I've noticed my family's eating with me more. And I don't know if it's because I am more intentional that I'm setting my plate and therefore I'm setting their plate. I don't know if they're noticing that there's room mentally for them because I'm not doing something else while I'm eating. I don't know if I'm just making the spaces available, but either way, it's beautiful. I've had breakfast for 3 mornings in a row with my family. I've had dinner twice now with my family. These are things that I've always wanted, but I didn't know how to accomplish. And simply by making sure that I'm mindful when I eat, even just drinking my morning smoothie, I'm sitting and staring at the sunrise while I do it, nothing else. And whatever thoughts filter through, they get to filter through. If I want to follow the thread, I follow the thread. If I don't, I don't. It's not necessarily a meditation time. That's a very different element. It's a time just to be within that moment. And then as I went to do my workout, I was like, I don't want to do this workout without sound. I've never trained myself to work out without sound. So I had to, in that moment, make a choice. I don't want to give up my workouts with sound. A long time ago, and I think it's just from being on the road so much, I got bored listening to music. I know that's crazy to a lot of folks, but it wasn't inspiring to me at a certain point. And I don't really like to listen to new music. I kind of have my things. That's what I jam out on. And so I really thoroughly enjoy getting a good workout in with a good book, an audible book, or a podcast, or one of my mentorship groups. And so this morning, as I was doing my workout, I realized I want to look at my life and be more intentional when I want to multitask and when I want to monktask. When I drive to work today, I want to be very intentional that I take that 20 minutes to process my day. When I did my makeup today, I had turned on my Marco Polo so that I could hear some of my friends and I wanted to catch up with them. But my makeup, and maybe it's from a time of being a single mom, but my makeup's my me time. My makeup is, I'm in my face, and it's an act of self-love, not hatred. When I put my makeup on, I'm not putting on my war paint. I'm not going to attack the day. I'm playing. A very innocent form of playing and love. And what color do I want extra glitter, or do I want to go a little dark, or am I playing with something new, or am I going a little safe today? Obviously today it was safe. I might be a little darker on the side, but that's fine. What am I after today? And who do I want to be? And I can't listen to a Marco Polo and make that decision at the same time. So, okay, when I shower and when I do my makeup and when I eat, we're going to monk task. And yes, I used to listen to podcasts when I was in the shower, but I think when you take care of you, there could be some reverence you're missing. And when I was eating, one of the things I thought about was, I remember so often telling people, well, the hardest part about dieting is I don't have time to eat. AKA, I don't have time for myself. So I'm supposed to be Superwoman, and I'm going to go take care of that world. But I'm not going to take care of me. And then I started to think about, do I have a healthy relationship with food? No. I have a really terrible relationship with food. And I'm either a love or a hate. I love making food, but I need time to do that. So if I have to race through it, it probably isn't going to taste so good. I love serving people food. Like, it's one of my love languages. Getting to make meals for people makes my heart happy. I love it. It feels good. I feel like I get to serve, and I like mixing things, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and saute this and sizzle that, and just like play. But I don't ever give myself time to do it because it feels selfish. This need to want to give feels selfish. And then to take that a step further, why do I feel so guilty about even trying to eat? A necessary thing that we have to do. And I feel guilty about it. And I want you to take a second. Do you feel guilty when you eat? Does a spare 3 minutes of your time make you feel guilty? And maybe take a second to look why. For me, I don't plan it in my day. It is a side note that happens. Well, when you're managing a lot of things, okay. So do you need to get up earlier? In my case, I need to be less distracted because I'm trying to navigate 3 businesses in the morning rather than take care of my family in the morning and take care of my 3 businesses during the day. Flipped. My priorities are backwards. And to be really honest, if I feel good about taking care of my family and I feel good about taking care of myself, I'll take really good care of my business. If I feel really crappy about taking care of my family and I feel crappy inside because I'm not fueled and I'm not hydrated and I'm not thinking straight, then everybody's getting my leftovers. And I'm talking like the leftovers that are back of the fridge that have no expiration date, you're not really sure who put them in there. And did they even put the lid on right? That's the kind of leftovers I'm giving. All because I'm trying to multitask every facet of my life. And because I'm labeling the wrong thing selfish. I heard something recently that I really liked. And because I have a poor mentality with money, I have been on a journey for a long time to reset that. And one of the things I talked about was that the issue isn't whether or not you're wealthy, it's what you do with it. It's your intention with the money. It's with your intention to build the money. And I like this idea because how much I make is irrelevant. What I intend to do with it is what's powerful. Where I want to go with it is really what matters. So if it takes me 3 minutes of Monktasking my food so I can reset myself, isn't that more important than getting to that meeting? And in reality, it's going to take me a few weeks to reset this. This is not something that I'm going to just like lickety spit. Because twice now I've gotten halfway through a sandwich and looked down and been like, I don't remember eating that first half of a sandwich. I mean, it's gone. The sandwich is all over my fingertips. I'm sure it was delicious. But A, I can't tell you if I read email or checked Instagram. I don't know which one I did. But my phone is in one hand, and I have nasty sandwich ingredients left over, and I have a half a sandwich on a plate. So have I been successful in this? No. But am I noticing really cool things for just starting out? Yeah. And I'm hoping that if nothing else, you get permission that selfish isn't Selfish isn't selfish. Selfish is selfless. Starting with you is how you tackle doing all those things for everybody else and how you take care of everybody else. And part of how you take care of you is how you process. I was talking to somebody recently, and she made a comment. She was like, something really frustrated me, and I moped, and I probably looked like a crazy person because I rah, 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 rah. And I kind of giggled because I was like, well, what do you think it looks like when I process things? Because real honestly, 2 nights ago, I had to close my company. For the 4th time this year, I have had to close my company doors. My baby, my first company, I have had to call guests, have my team call guests to say, I'm sorry, but we're closing doors and we don't know when we'll reopen. It is one thing to have a reopen date. It's another when you have to say, we would love to see you again, but we don't know when. It's hard to make that call because you don't know if it's right. It's hard to make that call because you don't know if you're going to offend your team. But all you can do is take the beacon inside and say, I know it's not right to stay open. That's all I can do. I can't tell you if it's right. It's a full gray area. And in case you haven't heard, I don't do me in gray areas. My therapist tells me I need to get comfortable with them. Thank you, 2020. I'm learning. Oh my God. Trying to learn. A lot of the facial expressions you just saw are half of what my wife had to go through as I was processing whether or not to close the company. And then process that I had chosen to close the company. I called my leader. Hey, what do you think? And as she chewed through it, she was like, this sucks. I was like, I know, right? And she was like, but our integrity is at our core. I totally agree. And we agreed to keep the other 2 companies open because they don't see as many people. They're not in the company at the same amount of time. So they're different modules. So we'll keep those 2 open. We'll close this one. We'll set up ways that those employees can still make money. Okay, cool. And she was like, it's based on our integrity, not the decision that's right. Then why don't I feel better? Because the right decisions don't feel good. How do you process through that? When you know what a right decision is, but it doesn't feel good. How do you process that? Well, it's real ugly. You stomp around, you cry a little bit, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm an ugly crier. Like, I speckle all the way up. And sometimes I got tears that come out. Sometimes I just sound like I'm a hyperventilating whale. Like, it's not pretty. And at one point, my wife is vacuuming under my feet, right? And she's resetting the bed. And she's cleaning the house. And she looks at me and she's like, well, I guess we handle stress differently. Because she's cleaning the whole house. She's doing something super productive and really sweet, right? I'm sitting and shoveling barbecue chips in my mouth and watching TikTok because I had hit a point that I couldn't process anymore. I had felt the feelings. I had whimpered, whined. I checked in with my people, my safe people. I checked in with them. And there was nothing else I could do. There's a strength in recognizing there's nothing else you can do. There's also a serenity in that. There's a peace that comes with being able to acknowledge that. And so yesterday, I went to work. And I put quotes in that because I met with the yoga company, I met with coffee company, I met with my stylist that I had to close down. And we did a lot of personal development. I did that from a boundary that was safe to me because I had to take care of other people. I was in my pajamas. I'm pretty sure I wore a holly jolly beanie. I probably didn't look professional, but I needed to be there here. So I set my day up with meditation. I did my time to-do list for my whole day to make sure that I was on time for each person. I was mentally ready for each person. And at 4:30 when I finished, I looked at the computer screens and I kind of looked at myself and I kind of went like this. And I'm sure if you have been on more than 3 Zoom calls in a day, you know the little squirrels in your brain are like, I quit. They're no mas. No, nothing else happening. Good luck, buddy. And then I looked at my family and I realized I had a decision to make. Yes, I had plans to write more in the book last night. Yes, there were other things on my to-do list that I wanted to do. I had no brain capacity to do it. So I would have sat down to do it because I needed to. But I had this beautiful family that came home that was excited to see me. My kid bounded in this door while I was in the middle of a phone call and just like barrel hugged me. She's 12. That's a gift. That's a miracle. So instead, I went and just sat out there with my cup of tea. No phone, no Kindle, no plans. No plans is really hard for me. I do really well with direction. It's the only way I get things done. And then started checking in on the kid. What can I do for you? Where are you at? Where's your homework at? We wound up with a little family activity trying to get the kids set up for school. Then I made dinner. Like, just plain. It wasn't anything extravagant, but made dinner. Enjoyed my meal with my family. Cleaned up dinner. I realized this morning that my version of cleaning up dinner isn't actually cleaning up dinner. I still had like 4 plates left out. Because apparently I was emotionally and mentally fried. And that kitchen this morning reminded me of why I didn't work more. I couldn't. I had given myself all the space I could give, and then I was done. So, yeah, I was successful in cooking and only cooking. And eating dinner and only eating dinner. I gave myself the space yesterday to just be in each of those places. And the part that's really beautiful about that is that I think I curled in bed at 7:45 last night. And I read, and I crashed, and I slept really heavy. I felt guilty when I went to bed last night because I didn't do more. I didn't get enough done. Like, I felt super guilty that, like, And at 5 a.m., actually at 4:55, I woke up before my alarm, and I looked at it, and I was like, not today, Satan. I'm not getting up. Snooze. And 3 minutes later, before my alarm went off, but I can still hit snooze. So I'm hitting snooze for an alarm that hasn't been off yet, right? Like, this is the definition of insanity, I think. So finally the alarm goes off, and my dog's staring at me. Pebbles, who likes to steal my pillow because that's her job in life, is to get me out of bed. She literally scoops underneath my head and lays on the pillow. I've trained her well. So I get out of bed this morning, and I realize that I'm actually refreshed. Did you catch that? Like, rejuvenated, refreshed, ready to attack the day. Because I let yesterday be yesterday. I hope that's a goal for you. And I know it sounds crazy, and I know it sounds like a dream world, but it's taken work. Just like learning to put on eyeliner one wing at a time for 6 months at a time. Pick one thing to Monktask. Pick one thing to learn to do better, and do that one thing for 6 months, and then add in the next thing. Everything that I'm putting together right now are little bits and pieces I've worked really hard at, and now I get to focus on putting them all together. Because I've spent the last decade learning to evolve to be a better human. Now I get to decide what kind of dance I want it to be, and that's a really beautiful space that I look forward to getting you to be able to join. So now, my timer is set, my time is done here, and I get to go write. Whether I want to or not, I've made the time and space, so I have to go write. And that's how you learn to set boundaries and balance. Because yesterday I got out of it, today not so much. So, I still have about 15 chapters left. I'm about 200 pages in. And it's time to write about how I feel about being a poor kid. Until next time.